if the question is, why is Bitcoin rallying? The answer is every other idea for investment seems like a pretty bad idea right now, Scott. And everybody that understands Bitcoin really well, that also had their money in altcoins or stable coins or other investment ideas, or if you're a crypto VC or you're a stable coin holder or you're a whatever, you're thinking, well, that is more risky than I thought it was, and it didn't work out as well as I thought it would. And so what do I know that I can run to in times of stress? It's Bitcoin.
Michael Saylor, the co-founder and executive chairman of MicroStrategy, has expressed his thoughts on the ongoing Bitcoin rally amid the banking crisis sector in the United States. In a recent Twitter Spaces discussion with Scott Melker, Saylor recaps the ongoing crisis of confidence both in the cryptocurrency and mainstream transitional finance industries. Saylor notes that beginning with the Terra Luna collapse last year, there's been a round 11 crisis of confidence in the industry. First, there was a crisis of confidence in crypto derivatives when billions of dollars were wiped out with the Terra Luna collapse. Then came the crisis of confidence in crypto banks, hedge funds, trading operations, and exchanges with the subsequent collapse of Three Arrows Capital, Voyager, FTX, Alameda, and other crypto-related firms that were swept off in the resulting turmoil. With the post-FTX regulatory crackdown, the cryptocurrency industry has also had crises of confidence in staking, securities, settlement networks like Silvergate and Signature Bank, stablecoins, regulators, and policymakers. Altogether, it has undoubtedly been a rough year for the trillion-dollar industry. But there's a bigger confidence crisis outside the cryptocurrency industry, which is the ongoing turmoil in the traditional finance industry. Compared to the cryptocurrency industry, this $500 trillion industry could easily topple governments and economies. According to Saylor, we already had an example with the big UK bond meltdown last year and the subsequent toppling of key government officials in a matter of days. The silver lining for Michael Saylor is how Bitcoin has held on through it all. According to the MicroStrategy executive chairman, the leading crypto asset is gradually earning back trust and respect as people flock back to the old school to avoid the confidence crisis in practically every other sector and asset. With this, of course, comes significant price gains, increased adoption, and network growth. Before we listen to Michael Saylor's view on the ongoing Bitcoin rally, please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications bell for more videos. Also, ensure you drop your comments and observations in the comments section below to help our videos reach more viewers. Thanks and enjoy the video.
A mainstream crisis of confidence in a $500+ trillion economy, a micro crisis of confidence in the crypto economy. A year ago, all these things were kind of under the surface, and they've all kind of come to the surface in the last 12 months, and every one of them's been brutal. What's happened in the last 2 weeks? Massive Bitcoin rally. Why? Well, I think that if you just put all that into your synthesizer and you say, what do I trust? What am I willing to invest my money in? Where's my safe haven with all this anxiety? And the safe haven is simple. It's Bitcoin the asset, Bitcoin the network, right? Those two things are your safe haven. Bitcoin the asset is the safest currency, the safest investment asset I can find because it lacks counterparty risk, and because all of the 11 meltdowns I mentioned in the crypto market, all 11 of those catastrophes have not stopped Bitcoin from functioning. It has survived them all. And so I sense in the crypto community, Scott, a grudging respect growing over the past 12 months for Bitcoin. If you roll the clock back 12 months ago, there are a lot of people that just, the trolls said, oh, it's boomer coin. I'm not going to say who, but many people said it will be irrelevant in 5 years. It's the last thing. It's aged tech. And I think that what they realized is that when there's infinite money and the regulators are not active and the politicians aren't noticing you, then you can have a lot of fragile structures. We had a lot of fragile, overly complicated Rube Goldberg devices in the crypto industry, Terra Luna being the most famous example, that they kind of flew, and then as soon as there's pressure on them, you just realize they're unstable. They're too complicated. Maybe they're good ideas, but they're implemented in an unstable fashion or irresponsible fashion or non-compliant fashion. And when scrutiny comes to them, they're going to collapse. And all of the bankrupt entities, right? BlockFi was a good idea, but it was unstable. Celsius, unstable, right? All these things unstable. They all collapsed. But in their defense, would be all fractional reserve banks, right? That if you're collecting $100 billion in deposits that you have to deliver on 1 day notice back to the depositor or 1 hour notice. And if you're turning around and lending it out for 30 years and a fixed mortgage rate security, that was a bit fragile. And of course, if you went and you bought bonds with it that had a 10 or 20-year duration, that was also unstable. So what we're seeing is a lot of overly complicated schemes to generate yield collapse under this kind of stress. So I think people realize maybe Bitcoin's not such a bad idea, like no yield and no counterparty risk. And, Satoshi's not around to embarrass us, right? I mean, there's a point to this, which is if there's an attack, if there's an attack surface, whatever it is, whether it's a founding team, whether it's an entity, whether it's a corporation, whether it's a yield protocol, all these attack surfaces, if they can be attacked, they will be attacked.
Today's episode is sponsored by iTrust.capital, the #1 crypto IRA platform in America. We allow you to invest in your favorite cryptocurrencies without worrying about taxes. That's right. iTrust.capital allows you to buy and sell your favorite cryptocurrencies completely tax-free. That means if you invest $10,000 into Cardano and it grows to $100,000, all of your profits are tax-free. Why is it tax-free? We took the existing retirement account industry and flipped it on its head. Instead of boring stocks and bonds, you can invest in crypto. How is it secured? Through Coinbase Custody, one of the leading cold storage providers with a $320 million insurance policy to protect against theft, hacks, and loss of funds. Roll over your existing retirement account, or even start a new one from scratch. Questions? Schedule a free call with one of our crypto retirement account specialists, and they can help you discuss your options. Start your crypto IRA today and retire early, only at iTrust.capital. Click the link in the description to open a free account now.
According to Michael Saylor, many investors who initially found Bitcoin boring ran toward other cryptocurrencies that they found more interesting. But with all the uncertainty and chaos of the past year, they are returning to Bitcoin in droves. Saylor also identifies 3 other areas of the Bitcoin network that are driving in more retail and institutional investors. Everything from the base layer to the applications layer and the Lightning Network solidifies Bitcoin's status as the always dependable old-school network that can be trusted when every other thing fails. Let's get back to the Twitter Spaces discussion as Saylor further discusses his outlook on the ongoing rally.
If the stable coins, when BUSD is not available to me, and when Silvergate and Signature are not available to me, and I need to settle on the weekend, right? I'm driven from those stable coins into Tether, but then if I start to get worried about Tether, what am I going to do? I'm going to go back to old school. And old school was Bitcoin was the unit of account in the crypto economy, right? Tether and stable coins made the US dollar the unit of account in the crypto economy. But I think we see people reverting back to Bitcoin as unit of account. Bitcoin is the reserve asset of the crypto ecosystem. Bitcoin is the safe haven asset. And this is being pounded into people's heads. So some of the money is the crypto assets that are looking for the safe haven. And as you get anxiety about everywhere else, you kind of run to Bitcoin because Bitcoin's not going to screw you. Bitcoin doesn't have a management team to take advantage of you, and it doesn't matter who you are. Don't trust me. You shouldn't trust any politician or any business person anywhere in the world. You should trust a protocol. The one thing I'm reasonably sure of, is that the number 9 will be interpreted to mean 9 by billions of people in a year. And the word love and the word hate will be interpreted to be love and hate by 1 billion English speakers in a year. And 1 BTC equals 1 BTC, and I can run my node. So the protocols are actually people got bored with Bitcoin and in the crypto world, and they started thinking it's boring. I missed the boat, and they stopped appreciating the beauty and the simplicity of a protocol. And now I think they're rediscovering it. And I think you see that with the crypto entrepreneurs. I think you see that with Cointelegraph. I think you see that with CoinDesk. I think you see that on the cover of Bloomberg Crypto. I think you see that in the mainstream media. There's a grudging respect and an acknowledgement that maybe Bitcoin is not such a bad idea. Maybe Bitcoin is not boomer coin. Maybe Bitcoin is a good idea. And so that's part of it. I think the other part of it is Bitcoin, the network. If I can't settle on these stablecoin networks, if I can't settle with the crypto exchanges, if I can't settle with Silvergate and Signature, and if I get my banking access cut off, then the one settlement network that I can trust is the Bitcoin settlement network. So the value of Bitcoin as a settlement network has been undervalued. People undervalue the idea that I can move $1 billion on Saturday from point A to point B without asking permission. And maybe you see how I just basically said that everybody that needs to give you permission seems to be hostile in a world where every single regulator and every bank, everything seems hostile. It's a hostile, dangerous world. You start thinking that maybe the ability to use the Bitcoin network is been undervalued. So I think that's rising to prominence. I think the third thing that's driving enthusiasm is Bitcoin applications. Just, like we saw Ordinals and Taproot and the like. It's like, well, maybe I can build stuff on, maybe Bitcoin is a network that I can do DeFi on, I can do NFT on, I can do settlements on, I can build applications on. If I don't trust everything else, maybe I return back to this idea that Bitcoin has an application future. And then I think the fourth observation is the Lightning Network is really exploding all around us. I think there's an explosion in entrepreneurs. There's so many cool applications that are going on the Lightning Network.
Bitcoin has no doubt had a great run over the past 2 weeks, easily outperforming other top crypto assets. Despite the mixed signal from the U.S. Federal Reserve earlier this week, the crypto asset has maintained a steady momentum. More key investors are certain of further price gains within the coming weeks. For example, former Coinbase Chief Technology Officer Balaji Srinivasan has wagered $1 million that Bitcoin will hit the $1 million mark by June 17, from the current price of just over $28,000. The former CTO believes there's an impending crisis that will lead to the deflation of the US dollar and thus to a hyperinflation scenario that would take Bitcoin to $1 million per coin. Per CNBC, industry insiders are also certain that Bitcoin will hit a new all-time in 2023 due to its impressive performance over the past 2 weeks. What are your thoughts on the ongoing Bitcoin rally and Srinivasan's $1 million bet? Like Saylor, do you think the rally is driven by the confidence crisis in the overall crypto industry and mainstream traditional finance? Please drop your comments and observations in the comments section below. Also, ensure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.